Well,
How
good.
are
No,
you?
I mean,
How are you doing, buddy?
I'm great. I'm great, man. I'm at a good morning or good evening, actually, because it's what? It's by what time is it?
Um,
5:30,
more
6
goody.
o'clock over
Well,
there. Yeah.
yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Well,
man.
this is perfect. Perfect, because I actually have the day off today, so I got a 4-day weekend, and I figured we could do this sooner. So I'm really happy to be on, and
Yeah,
this is
man.
great. But StreamYard, I'm glad this worked because this is, and now it's exactly what it is. You send the link, I click on it. I just it does that sometimes too. It takes just a second to connect with audio, but the AirPods usually work. So
Couldn't be any happy to have you on you. I'm really, really happy to finally talk to you. Really big fan of you, and I've been a huge fan of your channel for quite a while now. In all fairness, I really have.
same, same man, same. Yours was one of
Thank
the first
you.
that I ever watched. Yeah, actually, scent of the day today. Or where can you see it?
Beautiful.
You know about this
Beautiful.
one. I learned about it because of your video.
Yes, yes. Well, I know you're really much into those kind of pine-based, aromatics, and I'm not saying that your favorite fragrances, but I know that you're a very big fan of those types of scents, and yeah, it's great that I was able to recommend that to you. Really good.
It's like the
How are you enjoying it?
mature Jean Paul Gaultier Le Male. So that's what it reminds me of when I have it on.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, it's awesome.
yeah. It's good stuff. The only problem is it's not a huge performer, but when you wear it, it does smell amazing, no doubt.
I
Really does.
haven't I haven't worn it out in like 2 years. I actually don't wear it often, but because it's a little on the sweeter side, especially for like the Jacques Bogarts that I like when you think of
Yeah, yeah.
something like Bogart Signature or One Man Show, those are like really strong. That one's a little bit lighter. But I remember that was one of the videos where I went out and actually purchased what you were reviewing like a day or two after I watched the review, and I got it, and it smells great too. It wasn't spoiled or anything
Mhm.
of it being older. Yeah,
Uh,
so
Brilliant. It's always great when you can find an old fragrance and it hasn't been spoiled. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've got a few in my collection which have been spoiled, hence why I've not shown them off. Big regrets, really, but it happens. It does happen. Now, I have a few fragrances here to show you, actually.
okay.
I don't know if you have these in your collection, but these are just a few from my collection, which, I'm going to show you one which I'm loving, and after seeing your comments on it, especially, just wow.
Oh, Aqua de absolutely. I love Aqua de Selva. Yeah, I
Yes.
have that bottle. I have the newer
Mm.
one too, aftershave, and even the aftershave balm.
Mm.
I have a bunch sitting next to me, and that I was going to take and just show as we go on. But that one I didn't
Yes.
think to get. It's in the closet in this room over there. But I have it. Yeah,
Beautiful. It's
Aqua de Selva
beautiful.
is great. That's one my dad showed me, and he's had that for
Mm.
years. And I remember that one in the bathroom, and him spraying it on. That was like a daily of his for a long time. Really pine,
Mm.
lemon, pine, green, and they have another
So
one called
Italian.
Fresco. You got to try Fresco. It's like the
Ooh, yes, yes.
candied lemon version of that. I'll send you a picture and
Mm.
stuff after this so you can see it.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah, definitely. They seem to. I've noticed that this Italian company. They seem to make a lot of fragrances. I mean, Victor were once the owners of these fragrances, and since this Italian company, which I've really know nothing about, since they took over them, there's the Fresco. There's this one. I believe there was an original one called Victor many years
Yep,
ago.
yep.
Uh, there's a lot, and they're all pretty much the same kind of green bottle as well. And that's what I love about them. It's the fact that this company they carried on making these gentlemanly green aromatics, and from Wall Street. Wall Street's the kind of only one which
Wall
is,
Street.
yeah,
Really,
really different.
that's still pretty green though. That's like green and leather, and the Visconti di Madrone and or Victor, whatever. They weren't necessarily a super high end house too. I think they always were pretty moderately priced. I have Victor Club, which when you put it on is like,
Oh,
honestly, it smells like a Dracar Noir. It was okay. I'm glad I got just the 50 ml. But the original
okay.
Victor, I've looked into buying that. But my biggest fear is that nothing's going to compare to Aqua de Selva or Fresco. And that, because after a certain point, you only can get so many of very similar things.
That's true.
And
Yeah.
Victor, to me, I was worried. I read about it, and everyone's like, "Yeah, it's like a lot like Aqua de Selva, just slight different nuances." But the green bottle, they all look pretty the same. But they stuck to their presentation, their fragrance, their smell, but that one is hands down the best for sure.
It's gorgeous. It's really, really gorgeous. And it was the fact that it was just collecting dust on some market stall shelf.
That's crazy that you
Yes, it
found it
was.
there.
Yeah, I just found it randomly. It was a great find for me, so it was a really great one. I just wanted to really shine some light because I know you really like this one, and I really like it too. It really is beautiful. But I have a few more here, and I'm just curious about whether or not you've tried them. Is that okay if I show you them?
Of course, yeah, please. That's what we're here for.
Awesome. So this one here comes from the House of Yope. Now, it's called "What About Adam?"
Never tried it. Never. The only Yope I have is Yope Balm. That's all. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, this was before the whole Coty takeover. This was when they were owned by, I believe it was just their own company, Lancaster Group. This one is just absolutely incredible. It's very aromatic. It has this mint note in it, and it also has cassis leaf, which creates this kind of urine smell in most perfumes, but it's whether or not you get that in it. I mean, I don't personally. What this kind of smells like to me is like dried nettle leaves with an amazing tomato leaf note as well. It's really something gorgeous, this. And I mean, I believe Scentland is a huge fan of this, and it was because of him I actually got this. And I've been trying to really get it out there.
Yeah. Sorry? Is it discontinued?
Sadly, yes. It is.
Oh, the best ones always are.
I know there's so many discontinued fragrances I would love in my collection, like Gucci Envy, which is apparently amazing. Noble, which was a soapy fragrance.
I just got that. I just got that the other day. It was in. I made a list video about fragrances that I would associate with like a country club, and Gucci Nobile was in that
great
one.
Video, by the way.
Yeah, that was the last one. Yeah, that one's incredible. That's an incredible scent. Thank you too. But that Gucci Nobile is insane. I love that one.
Yeah, I was going to ask, do you get a Sung Hom similarity to that fragrance? Because it gets compared to Sung Hom intensely.
You know what? Like, not necessarily. For me, it reminds me of Duc de Vervant. Reminds me of Caesar's Man, which is another big favorite of mine. The original, not the reform. And a little bit of Drakkar. But Caesar's and Drakkar are similar. Caesar's like a greener, heavier on the oak moss and like herbal notes, whereas Drakkar is a little cleaner and soapier. But Gucci Nobile is like the top shelf version of that, right? So those ones, that one is, it's really, and there's a reason. I don't know why it was discontinued. And a subscriber was telling me that they bought their bottle at TJ Maxx, or in your case, TK Maxx, for $15, like at one point a couple of years ago.
What?
And I know, and you think about that, think about things like that, or Tsar. They used to be like, dirt cheap, and now they're asking hundreds of dollars for them, and it's just like, it's crazy. I happen to get, there's a market that's not too far away from my job, and one of my best friends was stopped there because he's a probation officer. So him and his partner, they drive around and they're visiting their different clients or whatever. And so they stopped at the market and they were getting some food, and there was a fragrance shop, and he sent me a picture of what was outside, like in the window. And there was a box of Gucci Nobile sitting there. And I'm like, yo, go in there and ask him how much that was. And he's like, no, I'm not going in there. I got to go. So he told me where it was. And after work, I drove there, walked in and bought it. I just was like, it was right there. Wow. It wasn't, the guy knew it was valuable too. It wasn't cheap, but it was a store that had all the type of stuff that we like. They had Tsar, they had, stuff that you can't get anymore. I might go back and get some other things too, but I feel like I might have better luck online. But it was nice that I could just go buy that. And I was, able to make sure it was in good condition as well. And it was right there. And it was kind of cool to talk to him about that. I was in there for like an hour.
Well, no, I would have been in there the same amount of time. I completely understand. Yeah. It's like being in a candy store. You just get lost.
Exactly. Yeah.
You don't know which one to really go for. It's amazing. Isn't it?
Yeah. But that was the one that brought me there.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, that's a real shame, really. From where I live, there isn't any shops like that. The only place you really have is eBay.
Yeah, I didn't even know the place existed until it was there. So now I know if I do want to go buy something, like, say another one that he had that I was interested in trying, never tried, maybe you have, is the original Calvin by Calvin, the black bottle.
No, I don't know that. Wow.
And
that is so rare as well.
Yeah, and he had like 4 of them, right? And he was like, okay, well, if you buy both of them, I'll give it to you both for $500. And I'm like, no, I didn't even come here for that one. So, but I spent some money on the Nobile. And some of the matching products, though, I was able to get on eBay for not a lot of money at all. But the actual fragrance itself was expensive. Yeah. Oh well.
No, it's just one of those things. It is. It's one of those things. I mean, I'm pretty sure you'll get another opportunity like that again. I've had a few opportunities where I've had the chance to get something and it just slipped, and it's one of those things. But another thing I would like to talk to you about as well. I love knowing about vintage fragrances in general, but the one thing that I have here is a huge collection of miniatures, and I'm just curious if you collect miniatures at all.
You know what? Usually I don't. I have a couple, but most of them were given to me as samples from purchasing from either someone on eBay, or there's an excellent, and you should check it out too. There's an excellent company in Canada called the Parfumé. They'll ship to the UK. They have in like all kinds of vintages. It's a family-owned store, and they have a couple locations.
Really?
And they've sent me some minis as well. The times that I've gotten minis is when I wanted to try something before I purchased it, and I've had. Sometimes though, a lot of the vintage ones that like I wanted to try, they're asking like, $30 or $40 for the mini, and I'm like, no, I don't want to do that.
No,
I'd rather just go buy the bottle, because I'm sure here's one, for example.
Yeah, of course.
So Coros Eau de Sport.
Oh.
So this one, right? I bought a mini of this one, and it was, first of all, it wasn't even full, and the guy just sent it to me. He gave me my money back, so that was fine. But it was a mini, and it was like $35 for that. And this is the one. And so then I found a deal where I made an offer on this one, and it's like 90% full, but it came with the box. And I was just like, okay, I really wanted to try Coros Eau de Sport, and this is like this is the first variation of the Sport Flanker, I'm pretty sure. And it comes in a plastic bottle and everything like that. It's not the porcelain or glass. And and this is where, to me, buying the bottle was more worth it than buying the minis. I don't have a lot of minis. I have some minis of Wall Street, but then I eventually got the bottle. I usually just try to get the bottle, though. I'm a snob in that way.
No. I don't think it makes you snob. At the end of the day, you want more volume, and these miniatures, they do. Most of these I own are like 4 or 5 mil. Like I've got a little miniature of Xerius by Givenchy. A few rare ones here. I've got a one called J. Casanova Quorum. I don't know if you've heard of this stuff.
No, that sounds great. Just the name is cool.
Yeah, really good stuff as well. And there's also this one. I'm positive you might actually know this one. Moods Uomo by Crizia.
I have it. I got a 50 ml splash and a 30 ml spray. You know what? Patchouli sometimes is a note that's difficult for me, but that stuff is good. That's really good stuff. I haven't even reviewed it yet. They have it on Fragrance-X, which is a discounter, online discount. I'm sure. In the US, they have one for I think it was like $40, and I was like, oh, that's cool, because it's definitely discontinued, so I bought it. But you know what I have gotten is a lot of samples. So I have a connection, a gentleman on eBay goes by the name of McBag. You probably heard me plug him in some of my videos. He'll send me samples of different things, and I've gotten stuff that I've wanted to buy, and I'm so thankful that he sent me the sample, because I've got it, and I'm like, okay, that's just okay. It's definitely not worth me going and spending the money on that particular one too, which is the big toss up with vintage. You really want that, but at the same time, sometimes when you get a sample, that'll curb that edge, that feeling that you have, that you just have to try it, And a mini's probably like the same thing. So it's smart of you to do that. I'm the dumb one.
Yeah. Well, I love how they've kept the original bottle design, but just on a much smaller scale.
On a smaller basis, yeah, that is cool.
Yeah, like little bottle here of Sergio Tacchini. Yeah, beautiful stuff. Really beautiful stuff. And I have a fragrance here as well from an Italian house called Lancetti, and this one is called Il.
Huh.
This one,
I never heard of it.
Il. Yeah. It came out in the early 90s. I think it came out in 93. And it's a woody aromatic, and it has a really good smell to it. Don't get me wrong, I think whenever you get an older fragrance in its original formula, it has that old smell until it starts to dry down and you really start to get the original scent. And this one's really good. I think you'll really like it. I don't even know where I've put the bottle now, but yeah, I've just got so many fragrances around me. It's unreal. But yeah, what else is here? Are you into Quorum by Antonio Puig, by any chance?
Everyone always corrects me. They're like, no, it's Puig. It's not Puig. It's Puig. I said Puig too.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So here we go. So this is the You know what? I actually, this is a 50 ml. So this is a vintage version. I think it's from the 90s. My story with this one is when I did a video like a then and now where I compared the vintage to the current one. And
yes,
I initially didn't like it when I got it. I'm like, oh, okay. It sort of reminds me of a couple different scents that are better than it. But then when I tried the aftershave, right, I shaved one day and I'm like, you know what? I've had this for 2 years. I haven't even used it. Let me just use it. The aftershave blew me away on how mossy and green it was, because the current formulation of the EDT is sweeter. It's green, but it's sweeter. And then I got the aftershave, and then someone told me, no, the aftershave, it actually has, I don't know if it's true or not, it actually has real oak moss in it because it's an aftershave. They could put it in because the concentration level is not as high. And then I tracked these down. I got 2 of them. And the guy that sold it to me, you know, he had them for $29. And like, the vintage is, it really is. This is the situation where the vintage is hands down better than the current one. This stuff, it's so green. Oh man, it's awesome. I figured we might talk about this one, so I brought it.
No, I definitely wanted to bring up Quorum. Yeah, definitely. I mean, but that bottle you have might actually be a very similar one, because mine has this sticker on the bottom of it. I know it's not focusing very well, but yeah.
This one says Puig, Barcelona, Paris, New York, made in Spain, 85% volume, 1.7 ounces, 50 ml. So, but it does say the Antonio on the bottom. Yeah, there, just like that. And the sprayer's different too. The sprayer's like a lot more strong. Like, did you see that stream across the whole screen?
Yeah. Same.
It's a good one too, and it lasts a lot longer, and it's just richer, thicker, woodsier, and when it dries down is really when it starts to come alive. You know what I mean? And a lot of times the vintages, even though they'll be in good condition, the top notes, the very top notes, are going to be a little bit gone or spoiled. But with most of mine, it's okay. I return the ones that are like that. Unfortunately, if they're like that, I want to make sure I can experience the whole thing, especially if it's all the way. They're all rocked. But with that one, it was okay. The citruses tend to go the fastest.
Yeah. No, fair enough. No, I definitely agree with that, because they're lighter and they get more subdued after a while. Yeah, absolutely. I think, but like going back to Quorum, I think it inspired a lot of different houses to make their own fragrances in the 80s. I mean, one that comes to mind for me is Jules by Christian Dior.
I have the 2016 re-release. That's great. That's really good.
Yeah.
That was like 1980. When did Quorum come out?
Oh yeah, 1980. This was 81 or 82.
Okay.
That makes sense now. Yeah. So then this one was, whatever. I just got the dates wrong. My mistake.
You know what though? But they all. I mean, back then they all sampled from each other, made different versions. People say this smells like Polo, which I don't think it does that much, but it's got the pine and the oak moss in there. Which if you were making a fragrance in the 80s and you didn't have pine or oak moss, you weren't making a fragrance. So.
No, it makes sense. Makes absolute sense. Well, if you're very much into Quorum, the company of Antonio Puig, they actually released another fragrance in 1988 called Sybaris.
I've never tried that. I think I've seen it online, but I've never tried it.
You would love this, buddy. It's incredible. It's a little bit like Bogart Witness. Okay. Have you tried Witness by any chance?
I have a 30 ml. That was another one, like in the force majeure. Like I got that. And then what's the other one that reminds me of that a little bit with the cinnamon? Aubusson Homme.
Oh, Aubusson Homme, yeah.
These are all because of your videos, man. I got them all. Found the 30 mLs, and that was before I was okay with just buying the bigger bottles, and I thought that those were okay. So my Witness bottle is just a 30 ml. I'm pretty sure the top notes are not 100%, but then when it dries down, it's very cinnamon, very fall. You know, reminds me of October, November type of months. You know what I mean? Those are the months to wear that stuff. Same with that. But and what's this one called? This Antonio one is called
Sybaris.
Sybaris. Okay.
It's Sybaris. So SYB. Yes. And Sybaris, I think it's named after a ancient city in Spain, which was actually destroyed many years ago. But it's what it's named after, and how can I describe it? Again, it's going into that Bogart Witness direction, but like it has a honey note in it.
Okay.
So It has a honey note that's a bit similar to Boss Number One, but then it goes into this direction of being like a dry cinnamon, very similar to Witness. Just yeah. I've always not been the best at describing fragrances. I have my own way of doing it, just like we all do. But this one is just, I love it, and I think you would really like this one. I really do, Kelan. It's awesome stuff.
Is this like? Really? Is it still available? Like, what is that? Like a 50 ml? How much is that? Is that like a $50 bottle?
This is a 30 ml. I think I paid about £29 for this. So
it's not bad.
You know, you're looking at about $30, and I paid. It was about 2 years ago. So, but I've looked on eBay, and there's a lot of bottles going. So, just depends on the seller, of course, who has the best price, basically.
That's yeah. Well, that's true. And if you can make an offer, I do that often. You know what I mean, just to see what you can get. So that's cool. Sibra, I'll have to check that out.
Sybaris, it's great stuff. Yes. Now, another fragrance house that I've noticed that you're really into is Sergio Soldano.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm really into it. I bought 2 fragrances, and I think we talked about this on Instagram. I bought the white and the black, right? So Nero and I ended up giving the white one away to somebody in a giveaway that has sent me some stuff just because he wanted me to have something. Oh, you got them all. And I have the black one. The black one reminds me a little bit of one man show, a little bit like and like a more citrusy one. But I'll be honest with that. I like it. I like that one, but I don't love the other, like the other one, the white one. I didn't like. It reminded me of a couple other things that I had already. And when I want to make sure I'm at least going to wear it, if once a year at a minute, because when you have so many, you want to make sure that you can rotate them. But that one I wasn't crazy about. The black one though is pretty good, and they're not expensive. They come in those humongous cases.
Yeah. I mean, they are. I mean, this is just, it's bigger than my hand itself. I mean, I don't even know the easiest way to really hold it, but I mean, they are really good scents. And if you and even though you're not a fan of the white one, it's fair enough. This one is, I don't even know how to really describe this one. This one smells like it's very herbal. So like the black one was going in the Nero version was going in a more kind of lemon, one-man show, like you said before, with that kind of like moss and the dry down, whereas the white one kind of has this, it smells a little bit like shaving cream, like a Nivea cream or something, with like this pine.
I can see that. I'm trying to think of the things that it reminded me of, and I don't even remember because I just gave the whole bottle away. I was like, you can have it, because it wasn't my thing. And the guy that apparently he likes it, so that's good. So, but yeah, the lemon pine in black, that's what it reminded me of, kind of like the lemon pine moss, and it was pretty bright, but also strong. See, that's one I got a sample of and liked and bought too. So I actually have that in my fragrance closet. So,
it's good stuff. It's really good stuff. I just like fragrances that smell different. And I'll be honest, the white one, I have to agree with you, it isn't the most unique scent in the world. Whereas the Nero, it's definitely more original, if anything, rather than the rest.
Definitely.
Another one that I'd really like to show you is, I believe you have this one too, and it's Musk Monsieur.
Yeah, absolute. Dana, I have do you have it by Hubigant or by Dana?
This is the Dana version. I would have liked the Hubigant, but this is good. I
have the Dana one too. Yeah, it's great. It's great. That's actually in my room. I was messing with that this morning. I held that bottle this morning. Or earlier this morning. It's still morning here, but that's funny. That's great. I bought it in a gift set on eBay with an aftershave, and the fragrance. The aftershave is like a bigger 100 ml. The fragrance is a 60 ml bottle, but that stuff is strong. It's rich. It's so clean. It's masculine. It is, got a barbershop vibe to it. That's one of my favorite musk fragrances, and I got to do it. So many things I've put in list videos that I want to do an individual review on. And I have a review that I'm going to upload. I actually made it probably 2 weeks ago, and I just never uploaded. I'm going to post that later. And that's an individual one as opposed to a list. But Dana Musk is so good. I found that, and that gift set was cheap too. It wasn't that expensive. I was really happy about that.
Yeah, it's really is cheap stuff. Really is cheap stuff. And when I got this one when I was actually in the States. It was many years ago, and I purchased this one along with. I'm just trying to find. Here it is. Just give me 1 second. not a lot of people know that this one actually exists, but I'm pretty sure you, of all people, will know what this is. The legend of Chaz by Revlon.
Oh, I mean, I know about it. I've seen it, pictures, never smelled it, really don't know anything about it. So,
Yeah. Well, I mean, I got these together, so they're nothing alike. I'm not going to start comparing them, but this one is just still got the weird paper in the top of it. This one is just wow. It has a musk that I've never smelled before. It smells so ethereal, so out of this world. It's really, really good. But it's been reformulated a lot. That's the only problem with it. It gets released now under just the name Chaz for men. It doesn't actually get released by a company, which is a bit strange. But
is it still being made?
It is still being made, yes. But
that's always good. That's always a good thing. It's still, at least it's not gone. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. As long as it isn't gone, you're absolutely right. Yeah. But I haven't tried it. I haven't smelled it, so I cannot say too much. But this, it's just so unique. I mean, when you look at the notes on Fragrantica or whatever, you'll see a very you'll see a note breakdown that's very well suited for a 70s fragrance, but it's just one of these smells that when you smell it, it blows you away. It's fantastic. It's really strong as well for it only being a cologne. That's what I love about old fragrances.
Yeah, they're powerful even if they're lower concentration, for sure.
Definitely. And of course, Balenciaga Pour Homme.
So here's the thing with that one, right? I don't have it. I got a sample. And the sample smelled a little off to me. Plus, like the sprayer on the sample, the decant broke and it would just shoot out a stream. It wouldn't be in a mist. But I know. Well, I bet that happens. That's nobody's fault. So, but the McBag was kind enough to send it to me. And in the sample, I remember saying like I almost bought a full bottle. Like if I got one, I want the 100 ml with the built-in sprayer, the beautiful marble top, like that. Like it's got such a cool look presentation wise, and that's another thing I'm into with the older bottles. They just look better, in my opinion. But so that one really was cinnamon. And it reminded me of those bags of pine cones that you can go to the supermarket and get, at least in the United States, they have them. And as you're walking, you can smell them like 100 miles away. That's what they reminded me of. And I was kind of like, it's a little heavy. But then again, I'm like, I need to return to it. I need to return to it and try it again. And I was thinking maybe if I did find a good deal on a bottle, I would just get it. There's a couple sites I look for stuff like that, because just collection-wise, it's one that you want to have. Speaking of trying a fragrance again, remember what we were talking about the other day?
There it is. You ended up getting a bottle.
Oh no! I've had a bottle. I've had a bottle for a while.
Right.
Yeah. And it's a 50 ml. But I remember because I was telling you I bought a gift set and it had the 100 ml plus like I think it was like a deodorant or something in there too. And I sprayed it and I'm like, that cannot be how it smells. And then I got this bottle and that's exactly how it smelled. And I sprayed it on last night too because I'm like, I'm going to talk to Matt. I'm going to tell him what I thought. And I sprayed it on my hand and it still has this like sour. Here, I got another test strip here. It's like a sour melon. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. I let it dry down, and by the end it was okay. This one doesn't really last that long. I don't think, at least on my skin. But it's just got this very weird. I mean, I have it for collector's sake, but it's a very weird scent. I don't know. I didn't like it. Some of the flankers of Tsar. Did you know there's a Tsar cologne?
Yeah, and it's very different, the bottle, yes.
The bottle's different, and there's also Tsar citrus too. I just figured that out the other day. I saw it online, a picture of it. I'll send you a picture. Yeah, and so I have Tsar cologne. I bought it from a seller in Egypt, and it's got the rigid bottle style. And it's like a citrus of the original. It's good, but it's not great, right? It's not worth the ridiculous pricing. This guy was selling it for not that much, but I had to pay shipping because obviously it was in another country. It was Africa, coming from Egypt. So then I saw Tsar citrus, and the seller was asking like $225, and I was like, nah, there's no way it's that good. The original you can get for less in certain cases, and the original one's one of the greatest. It's my favorite green fragrance ever, for sure.
It is amazing. It is an amazing scent. So do you feel like it would have been better if it just hadn't been tampered with? If they just left the Tsar name and just...
And didn't make the flankers?
Yeah. Do you think it would have been better?
The Tsar name's still there. I mean, I wish they didn't discontinue it. That would have been, and they still made it today. But the flankers are okay. When houses make flankers, that's fine. Some of them are really good, and some of them are not very good. In those cases, none of them lived up to the the original. Definitely not that one. But the cologne one was okay. The cologne one lasts on my skin like an hour and a half, 2 hours. It's really not. It's a nice bright, like on a super hot day, if I don't have anything that I want to wear that's too heavy, and I want to wear a citrus one, but I want it to be green too. That's an easy choice. I like it better than Eau de Tsar, but at the same time, the original is just unbeatable.
Yeah, I would have loved to have tried it in its original formulation. Just the bottle alone, when you look at the older bottle, wow. I mean, it's a work of art. The glass itself just has this marble finish to it. It's just
it's so I have all three versions, right? I have the opaque green marble one in a 50 ml that I got for $25 like 2 years ago. And it's and it's on eBay, just the guy selling it. I don't have the box. But then I have I have a couple bottles of the tall green one that's but it's dark green glass, and then I have two bottles of the rigid kind too. So apparently the rigid one was the middle formulation. I thought that was the most recent, but it wasn't. They all still pretty much smell. They're not that different. Really look, but yeah, I honestly the one that I think lasts the longest on me is the latest one, which is the green, the one that you have, I think too, the darker green glass. Yeah. That one lasts at least 6-7 hours on me.
Wow. Yeah, I get it's about the same in all fairness. I mean, usually when I wear a fragrance, I'm not those kind of people that are constantly smelling it just to see if it's still there. Usually, if I'm wearing a fragrance, I can still smell it coming off me. So but it is a strong scent, without a doubt, and it is a shame it's been discontinued. It's just like the original Quorum from Van Cleef as well. They've even discontinued that.
Oh well, that one I can't deal with that one. I had that. You never tried it?
No.
Okay, so
no.
To me, I reviewed it a while back. Matt, I wanted to love it. I was just like, this is going to be great. Like I love Tsar. This is Pour Rome. Usually, I like anything that's Pour Rome, the original, whatever the house. And it smelled like a dusty waiting room with dead roses in it and a bunch of old ladies in it. It smelled. It was very powdery, very like dusty rose and old lady wig. Like I was just, I couldn't wait. It was almost like too much when I didn't wear it. I don't understand. Some people swear by it, and I understand it. Obviously it's subjective. Everyone's going to like different things, but that one I thought was awful. It's where Tsar is incredible to me, but I had 2 bottles and I had 3, an aftershave and then a 50 ml and then an unboxed one which I gave away in a giveaway, and then a sealed one which I sold. And so I had a bunch of it. I bought just assuming I was going to love it, and I ended up not liking it at all. But that's fine.
Absolutely. No, so you would say that Pour Rome is not going to be missed. It's fair to say.
Not by me, at least. By some people, definitely. But me, that one was just not that great. It was very, 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 very old. It just honestly, it smelled like something an old lady would wear. You know what I mean? It was that type of powder, floral powdery. And the heavy on the powder, and it was just not my thing.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. I mean, it kind of makes me still want to try it. In all fairness, I mean, if I get a chance to try it, I'll probably try it. Because I mean, I've got quite a broad taste in fragrances. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll always love vintages. But now here's the next part of the video that I want to talk to you about. How are you liking any of the new releases that are being released from companies? Are there any that are standing out from that you really like at the moment?
You know what though? It's I haven't really tried any. Everything that I have over here next to me that I have that we can talk about, there's not one of them are new. So okay, let's see. What do I have? What do I have that's newer in my collection? Club de Nuit Intense Man. I have a bottle of Aventus. I have Bois de Portugal, but that's not new. That's that's a classic. That's like an 80s year. Not new at all. When my mom was at a jewelry show, because on the side she makes jewelry, and she was actually in London and went to Harrods and got me a bottle of Initio Side Effect, with a very niche, and that was really good. That smells great. I would wear that date night only. That's not an everyday fragrance. So some of the newer stuff that I've had, I have Aqua de Jo, but again, that's not new. That's been out since '96. But I haven't had any of the flankers because to me, I would just rather wear the original one. What else do I have? That's not. So I'm trying to think, and most of it's not. Most of it is. You know what? The Acqua di Parma Colonia, even though that came out in 1916, they re-released it. That's really good. I have Sandalo by Acqua di Parma. That's good. God, I don't really. Other than that, I don't try them. I don't try them because like I'm not as interested in them. To me, like take this like what's really popular right now. The Sauvage Elixir came out. That's kind of interesting that it's newer, but it's just the flanker after flanker after flanker after of the same scent, and to me it gets boring, and none of them smell as interesting or they're really mainstream, and that's cool. People like that. That's all. They may look at the stuff that we're into and be like, "What? Why would you even want to smell like that?" But if you can wear whatever you want as long as you wear it confidently. They're all designed to smell nice. Someone's going to think it smells good, especially. But I wear it for me. A lot of the newer stuff. Yeah, a lot of the newer stuff. I don't have any really much experience with because I'm just not interested in it, so to say. But doesn't mean that it's bad. God, I'm trying to think. What else do I have? I would want to try that new Polo Cologne Intense. I want to see what that's about. However, I hear it's nothing like the original.
I've heard mixed reviews myself. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, no, I didn't want to just throw that onto you there, Kelan.
No, that's a great question. That's a great question. And most people that watch the fragrance reviews, that's the kind of stuff that they're into. So yeah, addressing that with have you ever heard of this stuff here?
That's a nice sized bottle.
It's a pint. Oh, so it's
wow. Yes, it's Polo.
It's the Polo Sport Splash. Stuff was like a promotional item, right? So this was like if you bought X amount of things from them back in the 80s, they would give you a free bottle list. Like it was never made for sale. And I got two of these things. And if you want, it's like Polo without the tobacco, and you can just bathe in it. It's so fresh, so clean. It smells awesome, and it's vintage, and it hasn't spoiled despite all the oxygen in this bottle. But and look at that top too. The top is like so huge. Yeah, I have another one as well, but these are out there. This is great stuff. I decanted it into like a big sprayer, and you can just after a workout or after anything, it smells so good.
Nice. That's quite an obscure find. That's what I like. I like fragrances that are obscure, and I mean, so that one at all that you should show me that was never released to the market.
No, it was never mass produced as you can go to the store and buy it. It was only a giveaway, like a promotional item. I'm sure they made a lot because they're still out there. But when you look at the pricing on those, you're like, okay, but you're getting 16 ounces. You know what I mean? So it's a lot. It's a lot, and it's a splash. So I use it as an aftershave. That Canadian website I was telling you about. I got a vintage bottle of Cosmar Polo Green, and this stuff, and it's the 4-ounce bottle, and it smells incredible. And that stuff smells just like it, except it doesn't have the thicker tobacco. It's like the pine and the moss, and it's a little bit brighter. But it's an awesome. But you can use it. I use it as an aftershave mostly. But if you just want to spray some on too, it's great for that. And it's real Polo. It's vintage Polo, just like an eau de cologne version. Think about it that way. So it's a little fresher.
Yeah. Wow. No, that makes a lot of sense. See, I love Polo Green. It's always reminded me of a log fire in the middle of a pine forest. Literally, it has
that's a great description. That's a great description. Yeah.
Burning smell to it. It's great.
All right, so I got one for you too. You'll like this one because I know you like Wall Street, and I brought that one out too, just in case we were going to talk about it. I like Wall Street, but before there was Wall Street, before there was Office for Men, there was Businessman. Have you ever seen this?
No, I haven't actually. Is this by Victor?
No. This is by or something like that. I always get the camera wrong. I always bring this thing over here, but look at that. So, Businessman.
Wow. I just love that bottle design.
Yeah, and here's the cap. So you take this thing off. Here, I'll spray some of this on and.
Wow, beautiful.
Oh, it's so moss and pine in the beginning, and it's strong and hard. So I got this from that website too. I bought 2 bottles of it, 2 aftershaves, soap, the body spray, the whole deal. And this was incredible. And it's like it has a little bit of that like Worth pour aroma. It like reminds me of a little bit of Paco, a little bit of Worth, a little bit of Dracar Noir. Oh, but this
like a
this
real
is
good nut.
awesome, and this is like a fragrance history type of thing. Like this was probably never that popular, but
No.
the box is super 80s. Yeah, Panouge, Panouge,
Oh, okay.
businessman. But yeah,
No, that's quite an obscure find
and
again.
this is easily like a 12-hour scent. It lasts so long on you.
Wow, wow, that's insane. Absolutely insane. You know, I don't even
Crazy.
think Wall Street. Yeah, I don't even think Wall Street was popular when it came out. I mean, I'm
Probably
not one
not.
person. You know, I just don't think it was. But it's a shame because they are amazing scents, especially when you have them now and you're looking back on them. Yeah, you've definitely given me some ideas there, especially that last one. Wow,
You need to have that
insane.
one. You need to get it. You can get it.
Yeah.
They'll ship to the UK. You can get it there. They're not an inexpensive
Wow.
site, but their quality and everything's in perfect condition. That's one thing. Very
Mm.
trustworthy. Great group of people. So
Yeah. Is that a spray version of Wall Street that you just had there?
yep, yeah. This is a 50 ml. I have a 100 ml spray,
Right.
an aftershave, and they even have a deodorant stick too that I got. And they have what else they have? I have a couple minis. The minis were what I got first because I wanted to try it, and that's what
Excellent.
yeah, that's where you really have. So this one I got in a bundle because there's another site that you can get it similar to eBay, Mercari, and the woman was selling like her husband's collection, and she had some different
Okay.
bundles, and she had this one in there, Worth pour Homme, and I mixed them together with this plus Salvador by Salvador Dali, the gold bottle.
Mm.
But I wanted her to put
Mm.
this in because this is what I really wanted. And yeah, this one's incredible too, man. This is this is still being made, but it's not the same bottle. But look at that bottle
Yeah, yeah.
design. It's
I
so
love
good.
that one.
This stuff is really strong. Similar to
Awesome.
Businessman. Businessman's a little bit crisper. That's like greener and thicker.
Right, right. Yeah, well, that new bottle design that you were talking about, they actually own that in the Worth Pour. Great scent. That's
Here's
another
a
one that I was gonna mention about
yeah,
actually. Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
This is an older Paco, and this stuff sprayer was kind of banged up there. Oh man, oh god, this is so sharp. This is a good one too. This whole place is gonna stink. It's gonna smell like just like a '70s bar.
That's fine. That is absolutely fine. Excellent stuff. Excellent stuff. No, I'm just trying to think if there's anything else here I can show you that's worth showing you. Really, here's the one actually. Might as well show you the full bottle. Actually, this one actually came today, and I'm going to do a review for it on my channel soon. But
Nice.
very curious. Sorry.
I was saying nice. It came today. That's awesome. So it's brand
Yeah,
new.
yeah. It came today. It was the greatest day when fragrances can get delivered. And this one's called Statement, and it comes from Etienne Agna.
Statement. That's so funny. The names that
Yeah.
these fragrances have are great. No, I have Is that as you say it, Agner? I thought it was like Anye. Maybe I was saying it wrong. I was like overdoing it. No, you're probably right.
Be.
So somebody told me that it's pronounced exactly like it's spelled. I have number 2. I think it's called number 2 or number 7. It's a really soapy scent, really nice. But no, I've never tried Statement before.
Yeah, it's, in all honesty, I mean, it's not what I was expecting. I was expecting a leather scent because I've looked at reviews and people were comparing this to Hugo Boss Element or Elements,
I've tried that.
I should say.
I have a sample of that sweeter scent.
Yeah, it gets compared to that, and I've smelled it, and it smells actually very similar. I like fragrances that not everyone might know about. You know what I mean? So.
Oh, for sure.
It's cheap enough. I think I paid about. Well, I won this on auction actually. I think I won it for like £5. So it was really cheap.
Oh, so who cares? You know what I mean? It was, you still have it, you can enjoy it, and you spend $5 on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, another one that but that's cool. I never heard of Statement. Another one, like we talked about Abu Sanom, we talked about Witness, we talked about Force Majeure, all ones that you reviewed on your channel. And I remember I would watch, because your channel, Mr. Smelly, I remember when I was deciding if I wanted to create my own channel, I would watch yours all the time as I'm thinking, okay. And then I started with just posting pictures on my personal Instagram. And, but the one that I remember getting in and being like, wow, this stuff is awesome. It's another Jacques Bogart, as most of them were, but it's Eau Fresh. This stuff is amazing. I love Eau Fresh. I love this one. It's this is not the bottle that I use. I have this one. I have a 30 ml, or excuse me, a 100 ml, and then another 50 ml. But the other 50 ml is like probably more than halfway done. This is a newer one, but the one that I use more often is in another room because I'm just waiting for it to be done. But yeah, that one hasn't even been sprayed. But this one, so bright, clean, green. It's such a. Why was it discontinued? This is just people. I guess it's not in style anymore. But oh man, this stuff is so good, and you can get it for like, this was like $25 back when I got it, 2 years ago. But still, so good.
Yeah. I don't know what the prices are for now, but it is strong. It is a strong scent. It has a beautiful mint note in it. That mint and pine.
And a little bit of moss, but citrus too. It is exactly as it says, fresh, and it's such a cool name. The bottle's awesome. It looks like like a nozzle sprayer. Yeah, it's great, man. That's an awesome set.
I'm pretty sure it's the same shape as Witness, actually.
Yeah, they are the same shape. Yep. Yeah. Witness was at that store I went to. I saw Witness. They had that there. Like, they had a bunch of different sizes of it. But yeah, Witness is the same shape, just different color. Witness has got that like brown and green marble. I think. I haven't looked at my bottle in a while.
Yeah, it's got like it's kind of like brown. It is brown, definitely brown. But it's excellent. I'm really glad you showed that one. When you said you were going to show one from Bogart, I was expecting you to show Furio.
I have that. I have that now. I got a 200 ml, but I didn't show that one. I don't. You know what? I don't wear that one as much as the other ones that I have from Jacques Bogart. That one's a little bit like if I was going to pick something like that, I would just pick Coros. You know what I mean? But
yeah, exactly.
Furio's like, it's very strong. It's cool to have. It's almost like a relic fragrance. I'll probably break it out this winter time. It's I got a 30 ml of that. I remember one of your videos after seeing it. And then I remember I didn't try it for a long time. And then somebody messaged me on Instagram. It was like, hey, Fragrancematt.ca has it. And they have it for $27 for the 100 ml. And so I bought 3 of them. And I gave one away to the guy that gives me the samples just as a thank you. And then that way he can sell samples of it. And he's always very generous to me. So anyway, I have the 2 bottles. Yeah, those are really, really strong. But that's one to make a review about because of it's such a beast mode of a scent. Prisoner, Furio, Prisoner.
The Japanese Prisoner of War. Yeah. It is a cool relic. It is. I like it very much though, but I do see what you mean. If you were going to go for something like that, you would just go for Kuros. Kuros is, you know what? I've been thinking about getting another bottle of Kuros again. The bottle I own is a 50 ml from, I think, 2010. So it's very strong stuff, but I would do anything to own an older bottle. I really would, because...
Yeah, they are. I have one from the 90s, and 100 ml. Got it from that Canadian website. They have them there. If you want them, you can go get them there. And it 3 sprays, and it's like you're just getting beaten down by it. Every 15 minutes you smell it. It's like it's so strong. And then I have one from 2010. I got a couple older, smaller 50 mls. I have a bunch of Coros. It's probably where like I have the most of that bottle. That and Tsar, in terms of vintage, I have the most of different variations of, because those are 2 all-time favorites.
All-time favorite.
So for sure. But the older ones are great. But even the 2000, even the current formulation is still very strong. That one's still really strong.
No, absolutely. Yeah. I need to try it because I've realized there's a few differences with the writing on the bottle. It's actually in a different font to the original. After closely inspecting it, the new bottle has a different font to the older bottle.
I was looking. I didn't bring it over.
No, it's all right. But if you do notice it, you might actually. If you check it, you will notice it. But yeah, I definitely need to get my nose on Kuros again. Get the new bottle. I actually own, what is it called? Kuros Silver, which is an all right fragrance, but it's nothing compared to the original. It's actually quite a bit of a discrimination, to be honest, to the original Kuros name.
You said that in your review. I remember that. Same thing with Body Kuros. Have you tried that, or Kuros Body? Oh God, I really don't like that. I gave that one away. Didn't like it at all.
Yeah.
All the other flankers are great though. Oda Sport, the original. Actually, the thing with this one is it really doesn't smell that far off from the original. Very strong. Doesn't have nearly as many notes, but my guess as to why it didn't last that long is probably because it's only like maybe 6 degrees separated from the original. But they have Kuros Freischär, which I got 2 small bottles of. That's really nice. Kuros Cologne Sport, Kuros Tattoo, Kuros Ode to Tea, the summer, or whatever the hell it's
Yeah,
called. You know,
yeah.
those are
Blue
all
one.
really good. They're all really, yeah, the blue one. Yep.
Awesome. Yeah, it's there's definitely some fragrances out there, like from what is it, from YSL. I keep forgetting the name of the house. I mean, YSL have created some great fragrances, but I think the best one will always be Kuros.
They haven't created anything that I'm a huge fan of recently in a long time. You know what I like is Koros. I don't know if you have this one too, Quorum, YSL Quorum. This one's very good, very, very good. I love this one. I was able to get a full bottle, not spoiled. Smells amazing. It's got the built-in sprayer. It just says Quorum on it.
Yeah, I think I tried the new version because they recently brought them back in new bottles, I believe, in 50 ml bottles. They brought it back in
M7, did they? Okay.
Yeah. Which was called an M7 Oud Absolute, I think, and I think they released a few ones in the for women as well. But yeah, the YSL Quorum. I've smelt the new version, but I bet it's nothing compared to that one you've got there. I really bet.
Do you like Rive Gauche at all, or Rive Gauche?
I do.
I forgot. That one's amazing. That one, and that's only 2003. That one is absolutely worth having if you can get. That's like a class. I got that before I got any Koros or Quorum. Quorum was the most recent of those. But yeah, that one's really good. I don't have the tin can. I have the re-release, which is still now discontinued, but the square bottle too. I got it right before they as a gift for my birthday, right before they axed all of them. So I'm happy to have that. Happy to have that one. There's some good clones of that out there. Some really good clones of that. American Blend by Fine Accoutrements, which is like a United States based shaving house, but they came out with a couple clones. All they do is clone vintage scents, which is nice. Dua has one. I know Mr. Smelly. Yeah, Mr. Smelly talks about Dua. They've got some River Fougere, I think it's called. They got some really good impressions of stuff that's not available anymore. So it's still alive in a certain way.
Wow, that's excellent. I mean, I didn't think there was any houses like that. In all fairness, that's pretty clever. Yeah, I'm just looking here to see if there's any more fragrances, and if anything, not really. I mean, here's a few I was going to show you. I mean, just
show me, please. Yeah.
DK1 by Calvin Klein, which
I had a mini of that when I was younger, and it was a splash, and I used it all. That's just nostalgic for me, so I appreciate it. It's a great smell. How can you not like that? It's fresh, right? Have you ever smelled Reporter?
Which one?
Reporter cologne. I just got that in yesterday, so if you go on Fragrancematt and look at it, right? Look at the note breakdown. There's like civet, oak moss, musk, like all this crazy old school. It came out in 1978. I think there was an original variation, and now they have the new version is released. But in the photo, it says the new version. You spray it on, it doesn't smell like it has any of those notes on it. It's actually a pretty fresh, and it sort of reminds me of CK1. And that's how how on Fragrancematt it says like, what does this scent remind people of, and people select the fragrances. CK1 was on there, and I was just kind of like, wow, that doesn't smell like it's from the 70s at all. It's pretty good, but it's not super masculine though. It is, but it's not like something like this. Like
it just didn't match the note breakdown that much.
Correct. Yeah, I was surprised. Like, what did you were just talking about one that you said that it didn't smell like what you thought, like Statement. You thought Statement would smell different than it did. Like that's how I was with Reporter.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, this Statement, when I was watching reviews for it, and people have been saying it was like Hugo Boss Element, which obviously I used to own a bottle of that years ago, and I loved it until it got discontinued. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to do a review for it. I don't really know what to say on it just yet, because I need to really analyze it. But yeah, hopefully I'm not too disappointed in it. Is all I'm going to say.
All right, I got one for you. Here. Have you ever tried this? Francesco Smalto?
No, but it is actually. I've got that in a bidded. I'm actually bidding on that on eBay currently, so hopefully
I hope you win. I hope you win because it's awesome, and this stuff is it's beast mode on my skin. It's like it's unbelievably strong on my skin, and you think it's gone, but then other people around you are like, they can't breathe. And I got a sample of it from McBag, and he was telling me he loved it, but it didn't last long on him, and I was thinking that maybe it wasn't going to last long on me, but I think I just became anosmic to it. Like I went nose blind because other people around me were saying it's really strong. So yeah, I got this is a 50 ml, and I got an aftershave too. But it's like a Dracar. It's here. I'll spray some on a tester strip. I want to smell it right now because it's that good. Yeah, it's very green. It reminds me a little bit of Dracar, a little bit of Caesars, but it's its own thing. It's not a clone. It's just that, those are the scents that come to mind. That one is great though. It's super masculine. Yeah, like this is awesome. Like I would love to wear that out in at some sort of bar or something like that. That would be a scent I would want to show off because it's that good. Yeah, it's really nice. I hope you win that. Yeah. I hope you win that bid.
Hopefully I do. Yeah, I mean it's a one that's been on my wish list for a long time, to be honest. So hopefully I do win it. But I was going to say actually, I think there was a flanker to that one as well, wasn't there?
Malto Smalto, from what I understand. That's the only other one that I know. I haven't tried that one.
Okay.
Yeah, judging by the name, malt, I'm thinking maybe it's boozier, maybe sweeter or something like that. So I don't know. I usually always tend to side with the originals, but I've never tried it, so I really have no idea. I'm only speculating.
Fair enough. Yeah, I just thought I'd mention that because I believe that one was released in the 90s. I might be wrong actually. It might have been way.
Yeah, I think it was the 90s. I think it was the 90s actually. So that's one that I think I would try. If you get it, let me know because then I'll be interested in hearing what you have to say. I haven't seen that many reviews on it, so.
No. Yeah, that's it exactly. There's hardly any reviews for it. No, definitely. I would love to. I would just love to have that in my collection. It's been on my wish list for years, to be honest. And with it being discontinued, obviously, it's not actually that easy to find. But the one that I found at the moment is a full bottle, 100 ml. So,
of
fingers
Smalto?
crossed. Yeah.
Of this one? Oh, nice. Yeah, I got another 50 ml coming on the way from a website that it's in box. This one's unboxed. I wanted to have the box and everything too. And then they had a shower gel that I bought as well too for it. So I'll be full Smalto, man. And this one is I'm excited to have it. It's so good. But this guy, he had to make an offer, and it's pretty much full bottle, and it was dirt cheap. You know what I mean? He was giving it away pretty much. So that was lucky.
I just love the bottle design. It just looks so good. Like it would just go so well with so many other vintages. At the minute, my collection is just, if anything, it's kind of a mess at the moment. I've got fragrances that I need to part way with, and
I'm there with you, man. I get it. You need to purge, right, and make room for some different stuff. I like a lot of ones that I've gotten over the years that I've worn a couple times, that even ones I said I've wanted to make a review on, and I just haven't because I just don't. I'm like I don't want to necessarily reach for that. But then there's other ones that I want to get, and I'm trying to get like maybe one or two at a time that are more rare as opposed to just getting anything. You know what I mean? So it's more quality over quantity is one thing that I wanted to try to do, and that's what's cool about the vintage is you can get one, enjoy it, review it, and get you don't have to get the largest bottle either too, because something like a 50 ml would last me a long time anyway.
No, absolutely. That's why when I saw this Smalto for 100 ml, I was just immediately happy. I thought, this really could be a great purchase if I can get it, and it would make a great review. Because
yeah, it's so good. It's awesome. You'll love it, man. You'll love it.
Yeah, man, I'm excited. I hope, fingers crossed. But I really don't know what else to really talk about. I mean, I've got so many bottles here at the minute that it's looking quite a mess. So, but I just want to say a big thank you for doing this.
Of course, man. Thanks for having me on. It's awesome.
Pleasure, buddy.
I hope you keep doing these things. I would love to come on again. This is great. I have a bunch of other ones here too that we didn't even get to, but that's fine. We can always do it another time. You know what I mean? If you got to go. So it's fun to do these types of things, and the viewers will enjoy it too, because it's all different types of different vintages that we can talk about, and especially with you as an enthusiast and aficionado on vintage. This is great.
Well, to be honest, I think you have a bit of a better collection than me going on at the moment. You really have some, amazing fragrances. For people who are watching this video at the moment, if you guys go over to Kelan on YouTube, check him out. You guys pretty much already know who he is. He's great. If you guys have Instagram, check him out on there. He has great pictures. I really enjoy your Instagram, actually.
Thank you.
Just seeing the collections of it, all of your fragrances. It's funny because your channel actually reminds me a lot of this guy on Instagram as well called Vintage perfumist, I think you call him.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's for sure. His Instagram page that's where I got a lot of my ideas from. But it just so happened that I my whole life I've always liked to get the matching products, especially with shaving stuff, like getting an aftershave, because I shave once a week, right? So I have a thicker beard, so I need to use the balm, and I always would like to match that to the scent of the aftershave and to the cologne. You know what I mean? So that's why it's always nice to get that stuff. And a lot of the vintages, that's when they did that. That's when they made full body lines of all the fragrances. But that guy's got, it's like I said, it's like a perfume and cologne museum. He's got anything you can think of, you know. Yeah, he's probably been doing it way longer. Yeah.
No, most likely. Yeah, most likely. He's probably just some old guy with a really huge white beard, like Father Time, and he's
a wizard. No, I don't think he looks like that either. He's posted a picture of himself at like a family party, I think.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, but that's funny.
Yeah, fair enough. But no, we could always do a part 2 for this if you are up for that. I think it would make a great little series that we've got going. Yeah, this has been great. I've really enjoyed doing this. Thank you so much for agreeing to do it as well. It's been an absolute pleasure. It really has, because I've never talked to other reviewers in the community. So to get the chance to speak to other people it really just gives me like a new experience, like what's the word I'm looking for? Like gives me a new platform to think about. If that even makes sense.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. The first time I did it was my collab on Mr. Smelly's channel. This is my second time doing it. So, you know, and I like the format. And this one was just kind of like an open discussion forum, you know, for anything you wanted to talk about, but, you know, centered around vintage fragrances too. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. And I appreciate you having me on, man. This is awesome.
No, it really is. It really is. And that was mainly the reason why I wanted you on, because you have an amazing collection. You know a lot about your vintage fragrances. And when I smell my vintage fragrances, I'm in my happy place. And sometimes when people comment, you get people saying things like, I got one guy commenting on my video the other day, and he was saying, "That's not an original bottle. What you have there is not the original." And I was thinking to myself, well, I've smelled the original. I get a lot of like hate emails. I don't know about you, but I get a lot of hate messages because I'm a young guy.
Really?
You know. Yeah, I do.
That's unbelievable. Like, what were they hating? I don't even understand that. Yeah, I mean, you know what? We're putting ourselves on the internet, so anybody can say anything about anybody they want anytime. It doesn't matter. You just kind of got to deal with it. I've got comments like that, like where someone's saying this is, and I just always say, hey, thanks for watching. And you know, sometimes I get that, sometimes I don't, or you know, if it's there'll be people but usually people are very supportive and nice. And they'll comment just on their experience of, hey, I used to have that bottle and it's great. And I'm young, you know, we're both younger and into the vintage scene too. But that's the email thing. No, I don't really get any emails. I just have my one email listed up on my channel, but that I never check anyway. Yeah.
No, I think it's just again, I never judge a book by its cover. I accept anyone for who they are, and I think it's just because I'm a young guy and I'm reviewing fragrances such as Aramis, and you know, and you don't get many people like my age like doing that sort of stuff. I mean, you might, I haven't come across them, and I get a lot of hate emails from people saying things like, "You shouldn't be reviewing fragrances like that." Come on, literally, and it was actually one of the reasons why I stopped making YouTube for so long. It was kind of ridiculous, and I just thought to myself, "Why am I letting this get to me?" Literally.
Yeah, I remember you stopped. I remember it, but I was thinking to myself, I remember commenting and just saying like, well, either way, you know, regardless, I love your videos, and I'm glad that you came back. And I figured you might, right? Like, because you get past it, and yeah, I would just ignore stuff like that, and like it's, you know, that they're that bothered by it, then they can go watch something else. You know what I mean? They don't have to watch you or me or anybody else. So, but you know, chances are they're still watching anyway. You know what I mean? Yeah, maybe just not being in the limelight. Some people that are not as popular, but I are into it. You know, might not. You know what? I don't want to wear that type of thing, and I can admit to being that way when I was younger, getting fragrances or that if it wasn't what I wanted, if it wasn't from the mall or you know, a new designer one, I wouldn't have considered it. But then as my taste changed and I really got into trying different ones, especially older ones, that's when I really came to appreciate it. But I would also have to think, if you're someone that takes the time to watch a review on YouTube about cologne or fragrance, that you're going to be open to knowing about different ones. And then I have so many people will tell me, hey, I didn't know I liked these until I watched your reviews, and then I tried them, and I've bought all these different, classic men's, and they're thanking me, and that's awesome, and that to me is what is motivating
That's what
to
it's
continue
about.
to do it, and that's how it was with you, with me, you know what I mean? That's getting things like Fresh, and I would have never known about that had I not stumbled and gone through your different videos, and I think you were in the United States when you reviewed this, sitting outside someone's home. I remember the video, you know what I mean?
That's
And
right.
different things that like Witness, same type of thing. I remember those videos, and that's what drew me to go and check those out. And then once somebody does that, they're gonna discover different ones, whether it's from a picture, description, or online, and then you're gonna order them and you're gonna get them, and you really enjoy them too. So I have a pretty, I can't thank my subscribers enough, as I'm sure you can too, that they're always really into it, and then the ones that are gonna thumbs down or send you a stupid email, I would just completely ignore that. You know what I mean? No worries. You do what you want to do because you enjoy it. Not anything else. So
I could say the exact same. Like, I've always loved watching you. I just want to say thank you for doing this, and of course thank you to everyone else for watching this out there. It's been really great.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, Kelan. Thank you so much, buddy. All I can say is thank you and goodbye to you, sir, and we will do this again another time, I'm sure.
Absolutely, man. Thanks so much. You have a great rest of your weekend.
Thank you. You too. Take care of yourself, buddy.
You too.
Bye now.